All right, let's get to it. First up, we got Tatami. Tatami is co-directed by Guy Nattiv, who we watched do, what was the movie we watched him do? Oh, Golda, I should say. I think it was last year, which I did not really like Golda very much. And then he also did the movie Skin, which is a really good movie from, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 years ago. Skin, if I remember correctly, about a neo-Nazi in America who re-infiltrates his own neo-Nazi organization, and he's getting all of his Nazi tattoos removed as the movie goes on. Also, it was co-directed by Zar Amir Ebrahimi. Now, I know her only as an actor, but I don't know if she's directed a bunch of things, but definitely she's a co-director on this movie. And also she co-stars in this movie, but I knew her from Holy Spider from about 2, 3 years ago. Holy Spider is an excellent movie. If you have not seen Holy Spider, that's something to look up. It's a pretty powerhouse performance and movie. Almost was going to get, I think, some Oscar buzz, but I don't know if it quite made it there. I don't remember. Did it get nominated that year? I'm not sure. Anyway, this is essentially a bit of if you look at the directors at least, a bit of a Israeli-Iranian co-production. Now that alone should make you raise your eyebrows. Iranian Israeli? Because you don't think of Iranians and Israelis being very cooperative or collaborative in a lot of things because there's a lot of political strife between those two countries. Not that the people necessarily match the strife, but it definitely would kind of raise your eyebrows a little bit to wonder about what's going on there. So it says Tatami is based on a true story, or I think it's based on a true story. It doesn't say it in the film. And I should have gone back and looked at the actual facts surrounding it because there must have been an event that was similar to this, but I have a feeling they took some liberties. Either way, I didn't know what to expect from this movie. It's black and white. I thought, oh, here's this black and white art house indie movie. I knew it was about it looked like boxing from the poster, but it's actually judo. It's like international judo championships. And in this case, it's the women's side of it. I'm assuming there's a men's competition going on at the same time or a similar time. But all we're really watching is the women's competition. And we're specifically following Layla. She's the main, kind of the protagonist of this movie. And Layla is played by Arienne Mandi. And then her coach, Miriam, is played by Zar Amir Ibrahimi. So she plays the coach of Layla. And when you're watching it, I'm thinking like, okay, this is going to be really interesting. Sports drama. Maybe we're going to watch the possible rise of this or battle of this person trying to make it in the judo sphere. And seeing as she's a woman from Iran, she probably has some hurdles as far as just societally being a athlete and being successful in Iran. I'm assuming there's some kind of hurdles to go through there. As it starts out, you feel like that's the setup. You see her doing her first couple matches, and this is a huge competition. It seems, I don't really understand for sure, but it seems like it's all taking place over a single day, where basically there's a whole bunch of people competing at the very bottom level, and they keep going. In each round, they advance if they keep winning, till of course they would get to the semifinals and the finals. And after the first couple rounds, I'm thinking like, this is going to be a pretty good sports movie. And in between each round, you're seeing her. She goes back and calls her family, and her whole family's gathering around in their apartment. They're rooting her on, and her kid and her husband are there, and her parents are watching. So you get the idea of this going to be this maybe underdog kind of a story. And then it takes a turn, and that was where it really became interesting. And very quickly, I'd probably say in the first 20 minutes, maybe the turn occurs, and she gets a call, and it's from an official Iranian spokesperson of some sort. I don't really know the politics exactly, but they basically are saying like, hey, one of your main competitors is Israeli, and you are not allowed to fight her. And essentially, politically, they don't want her to be fighting an Israeli. Because if she, I don't know, I guess the idea is if she loses, it would be dishonor to Iran, or it would somehow there'd be something terrible if she lost to an Israeli. Or even if the fact that she would compete with one, maybe that would be recognizing Israel on the part of Iran in some kind of a weird, unofficial, official way. Either way, she's basically being told, actually, take that back. Her coach is being told that Layla needs to be withdrawn from the competition. So for probably the first third of the movie, you see the coach wrestling with her, the increasing pressure to basically withdraw Layla from the competition. And then as the movie goes on, it becomes more directly based on Layla having to withdraw herself because Layla does eventually, of course, find out that she's supposed to withdraw. And the way this movie works is really interesting because it works as both a sports competition drama, kind of in the way of a Rocky or something, because you got the stakes of can she keep winning? And as the competition intensity increases, but in between each round, the thriller aspect, the political drama thriller aspect increases as well. Because the question is she going to defy the Iranian authorities? And each between each round, if she continues this competition, the stakes get higher and higher because the authorities in Iran are very serious, and you slowly discover how serious they become. This is a really good movie, really excellent. I was at first this might be an okay, like I said, okay sports drama, but when it started pulling in the thriller aspects, I just thought to myself, this is paced so well. And the stakes are so clear. And I love that in a kind of quote political thriller kind of a movie. A lot of times they are sprawling and you have to know all the intricacies and you have to follow along and you're usually going from place to place. And by picking such a very simple, clear stakes, like almost limited storytelling in a sense that like you're in one setting and all you're doing is this competition, very clear basic stakes built into it to have the added stakes of essentially kind of life and death eventually, and just your soul as far as like your own integrity, to have that be the core that's building as the actual competition is building, just made for great storytelling, great thriller, made me really wonder what the real facts were. And I don't want to get into it because I don't want to say how it plays out. I don't want to give you obviously a spoiler on what happens. Does she continue going? Does she win? Does she fail? Does she get killed? Who knows? I'm not going to tell you. A lot of things could happen in this movie. I'll just say it's an excellent thriller if you like just international dramas. I think it really works really well on that sphere. If you like sports movies, I think it's a pretty good sports movie. I don't think it's going to give you quite all the beats that you want for maybe, like I said, a Rocky kind of movie, but maybe more independent-minded sports movies. I think it works really well as far as that goes. And I want to bring that up. I don't know anything about judo, and they don't handhold you in this movie, even though you'll have the voiceover of the kind of the ring announcers going throughout the matches. They'll be saying terms and things that I don't really get because I don't know judo, so I'm assuming it's correct, but it works anyway. It's like one of those movies where you have a bunch of jargon, but it doesn't distract you because you don't really care what the jargon means. You get it. You just need to know, is she winning? Does she have the upper hand? Is she in a tenuous position at a moment? You get all that. And then on top of that, by having all of the actual emotional and physical life stakes that are going on in the competition as well for her as a person and for her coach, because her coach, of course, is integrally involved in this as well. Her coach is in just as much danger as she is if she goes against the authorities. It just makes it fantastic. Some people might be kind of disappointed by the ending. I wasn't, let's just say, because it could go a very stereotypical way in this kind of movie. And I think it doesn't quite go that way. And I appreciate that as well. Once again, it makes me wonder about the real events and how things went down. I especially wonder how things went down for the people who were in Iran still. And it definitely asks some questions there. Anyway, fantastic movie. 5 stars for me. This is a movie that'll probably get hardly any play because it's hard to sell on black and white. Iranian, half Iranian international movie. You're not going to get a ton of screens for this. But this is the kind of movie when it does appear on a Hulu or wherever it goes, it's well worth your time if you like those kind of movies to start with.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.